BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
We are back this weekend. One of the better fight night cards going down in Seattle. I was actually looking to get some tickets for the event because it's only a few hour drive from where I'm at. And I was looking, and these ticket prices are expensive, man. Like, it's even a few $1,000 for like a lower bowl. Pretty expensive seats, man. UFC is doing a really good job of making it hard for, your average person to go to a UFC event. And I know what the UFC likes to do is anytime they go to these arenas, they always want to set the record for the gate, right? So after the event, Dana can be like, hey, we broke the record for the highest gate in the Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle. So it's important for the UFC to hold the records for the gates, which is good, right? But at the same time, you're making these cards way too expensive for just regular UFC fans to go and watch. And that's unfortunate as well because... yeah, it's just, and the thing is, like, even when you go to these UFC fights, like, you're not even paying, not even paying to get the best view of the fight, because realistically, like, I can get a better view of the fight at home watching it on TV, but it's about being in the environment, right? But yeah, just super overpriced, and it's not even a title fight. Like, I could see UFC 300 having super expensive card. I mean, Noche, they spent a ton. But Cejudo and Song, like, I don't know why this is a few $1,000 for lower bowl. Like, floor seats, not even close, not even front row. Like, you're paying a few thousand at least for one ticket. But it is what it is. So we got Henry Cejudo taking on Song Yadong. The disrespect towards Henry Cejudo here is crazy. When I look at these odds, this tells me the odds makers know something that the casuals and the people who are not in the inside do not have. Maybe Henry's dealing with something injury-wise. I don't know. Maybe he's not 100% in camp. Maybe he's just doing it for the money. That doesn't seem to be the case. I know he's getting older, 38. It's tough, but the guy's an Olympic gold medalist. And he's only lost to the top guys. Like, his last 2 losses, Aljamain Sterling, champ. That was a close fight with Aljo. And, Aljo was the champ at the time. And then he fought Merab, who's, Merab's a monster. That guy's a freak of nature. So no shame losing to Merab or Aljo for that matter. Aljo's now killing it at 145. I mean, I know he lost his last fight against Evloev, but that was a really impressive performance, even though he lost the fight. So yeah, am I favoring Song in this fight? I am slightly, but the fact that he's almost a 3-1 favorite, that tells me something, man. Like, they're really counting out Henry here, and I don't know if you should do that, because Song Yadong has issues with guys who can grapple, right? He lost to the Sandman, Corey Sandhagen, and Sandhagen was taking him down. Peter Yan took him down. Like, he's going to have a hard time with guys who can take him down, right? Because Song Yadong, he's a really good boxer. He's not a guy who likes to throw head kicks, crazy kicker, but he's got really fast hands, and that right hand he throws like a fastball, and if it lands, people go to sleep. He's gotten heavy knockouts. Like, he hits really hard for that division. I don't think he's going to be knocking out Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo is very tough. He's got a tough chin. These Mexicans are tough. They can take a shot. I do feel he might win a decision and maybe pick Henry apart, beat him up for 5 rounds, or 3 or 4 out of 5, whatever it may be. But can he stop the takedown? I don't know. I don't think so. I think Henry will get him down. Now, is he going to be able to hold Song down for 5 rounds? That's a whole nother ball game, right? 3 rounds, I would favor Henry with the wrestling because he can take him down once or twice. hold him down, sort of grind him out. But now you're fighting 25 minutes, 5-minute rounds. Henry Cejudo, he's not a Marab, so his cardio isn't on that level. I'm favoring Song Yadong here, so I'm going to go with Song, but Henry Cejudo's a live dog, unless there's something that we don't know that the odds makers are privy to in this situation, but I don't know if he should be. That's crazy. Plus 220? That is crazy. They're really counting him out here. Up next, Brendan Allen taking on Fluffy Hernandez. This one is a really good fight. I really like this fight. Brendan Allen is a beast. He's a guy who was on a nice little win streak, just destroying guys. Had some really big wins. Choked out Andre Muniz, who's a submission machine. Rear naked choked Paul Craig, who's another jiu-jitsu submission machine. And then his last fight, before the Imavov fight, he fought Chris Curtis, and I'm not going to lie, I wasn't impressed with the Chris Curtis performance. And then, after that, he fought Nasruddin Imavov. Imavov's a monster, and, Imavov pieced him up, and now he's taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. And Fluffy, man, this guy's been really killing it. He looked really good against Michel Pereira's last fight. And the thing with Fluffy is he doesn't get tired. This guy's got a gas tank for days, and he just melts people. Like, he melted Rodolfo Vieira. He melted Edmund Shabazian. And last fight, he really melted Michel Pereira. Because Michel Pereira, that boy's got a lot of muscle. Big guy, not the greatest gas tank. Really likes to use explosive movements. And that's going to be really tough against a guy like Fluffy. Because Fluffy's got an amazing gas tank. He just keeps going and going. So I'll go with Fluffy Hernandez on that one. Next up, Gene Matsumoto taking on Rob Font. Gene Matsumoto, he's been killing it. Undefeated, 16-0. He's been looking really good, but he hasn't fought anybody on the level of a Rob Font. So yeah, he looked good against Brad Katona. He looked good on the Contender Series, right? But now you're fighting Rob Font. Total different level of competition. And Rob Font looked good his last fight. Beat Kyler Phillips. I think I'm going to go with Gene Matsumoto by decision, I think. I don't think he's going to be finishing Rob Font, but I think he might be able to get... this one's close. I feel this one actually... Rob Font can win a decision here, or Gene Matsumoto could, or Gene or John, whatever. Matsumoto can win a decision. So I have a feeling this fight is probably going to go the distance. And another Gene or Jean, whatever you pronounce it, I prefer Gene. Silva, this guy's a destroyer, man. He's not the tallest guy, and he keeps his hands low. He looked really good against Drew Dober. Like, he pieced up Drew Dober. His last fight, finished Drew Dober in the third round. Finished Charles Air Jourdain. Like, Air Jourdain's a tough SOB. And Gene Silva ran through him, man. Gene Silva is legit. And he's going to need to be, because Melsik Baghdasarian is a very good striker. Unfortunately, I think he lacks the experience of a Gene Silva, so I'm going to go with Gene Silva. I feel like he just got a few more fights, a little more experience, and he's been looking really good. Looked really good against Air Jourdain and Drew Dober, so I'm going to go with Gene Silva, huge favorite as well, so no surprise there. Up next, we got Atomic Alonzo Menifield taking on Julius Walker. Alonzo Menifield, former football player. The guy's built like a tank. Unfortunately, he's coming off two really bad losses. Both finishes. Mirzakhanov is a monster, finished him, and Olberg also knocked him out in the first round. I believe it was like 10 seconds in the first round. He's going to need that because he's fighting a guy who's destroying people on the regional scene. I haven't really seen much of this guy because he's never fought in the UFC before. He's never even fought on the Contender Series. So I haven't seen much of this guy. But he's destroying guys. He's coming off 2 first-round finishes. But now you're fighting in the UFC, and that's a whole nother ball game. So just because of that, I got to go with Alonzo on that one. just because he's experienced, man. Ion Cutelaba taking on Ebo. Ion Cutelaba has not been the same guy for a long, long time. And, he just hasn't been looking the same. He's got a bunch of losses. Kennedy Nzechukwu, Johnny Walker, Ryan Spann choked him out. Felipe Lins. He's not been looking the greatest. I mean, he's got 2 wins in his last 6 fights. 2-4 in his last 6, and you got to fighting a guy 14-1. They're really gonna try to sort of build this kid on Ion Cutelaba. He's on a really big win streak, so I'm gonna go with Ebo on that one. This one is interesting. The next one, Mansour Abdul-Malik taking on Nick Klein. Nick Klein, he was the guy on the Contender Series who had one of the sickest rear naked choke submissions I've seen in a long time, and I've been covering jiu-jitsu and MMA for a long time. That was one of the sickest back take submissions. Like he really held on to that choke, and it was a really impressive rear naked choke. The fact that he's plus 600, like that was a really impressive performance. So that shows you what they think of Mansour, because Mansour is an absolute beast. And he's been finishing everybody in the first round. I believe he's only got one fight that's made it into the second round, and that was against Wes Schultz in the Contender Series. But he's been just slicing and dicing guys. And, I got to go with Mansour on this one. But, hey, man, don't count out Nick Klein. Watch his fight on the Contender Series. It was super impressive. Now, obviously, that's not the same level of opponent of a Mansour, but plus 600, that's crazy odds. That's crazy. Ricky Simone taking on Javid Basharat. The Basharat bros are back, or one of them is. Javid here, his last performance, man, it was really bad. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Ayman Zahabi, you can't be losing to Ayman Zahabi if you're trying to get to that top level. I know Ayman Zahabi's on a nice little 4-fight win streak or whatever it may be, but I don't think Ayman Zahabi's a top guy. Ricky Simone, he used to be a top guy. He just has not been looking the same, man. He's got like 3 straight losses in a row. This fight, though, can go either way, and I have a feeling this fight's going to go decision as well. It's going to be a close fight. This fight, I have a feeling it's going to be a close one, and it's going to go the distance on that one. So I'll go with the over on that one. Ricky Simone's a live dog as well. If Ayman Zahabi can beat Javid Basharat, so could Ricky Simone. If Ricky Simone shows up that fought Merab, Ricky Simone that shows up that fought Asuncao, that fought Ray Borg, that fought Jack Shore. Ricky Simone can win this fight. Is he going to? That's a whole nother ball game, but I have a feeling it's going to go decision. Because Ricky Simone is tough. And the last fight I'm going to touch on here is Nursultan. So we got Austin Van Zandt. Don't even care about this fight. Paige Van Zandt's boyfriend or husband, don't care. Hopefully he gets punched out. Not a fan of him whatsoever. Even in Bellator, not a fan. Nursultan Ruziboev taking on Eric McConaughey. Nursultan, his last fight, he fought Joaquin Buckley. He's a middleweight, cut to 170, which is a tough cut for him because he's a big dude. He's 6'5". 6'5". No way you should be making 170. But 185, much better weight class for him. He definitely should be fighting here. Don't cut to 170 ever again. Buckley messed him up his last fight, but Buckley's a freak of nature. And at 185, he's been killing guys. Like, destroyed Bruno Ferreira, who was undefeated at the time. Destroyed Cedric Dumas. He's been looking really good, and I got to go with Nursultan just because of the experience factor as well. Like, Nursultan's got 45, 46 pro fights, and this guy's got 12. Like, you got 12 pro fights against a guy who's almost got 50 pro fights. Dude, and he's younger. You got the younger guy with 3 times as many fights. The experience is crazy here. So I got to go with Nursultan all day on that one. yeah, that's a tough fight for Eric McConaughey. If you're Eric McConaughey, like, that's a tough fight for you, man, because you only got 12 pro fights, and you got a guy who's fighting. He's almost at 50. That's crazy, man. But yeah, this is actually a really good fight night card. If you guys are in Seattle, if there's some tickets left, check it out because this is a really good card. Yeah, this was actually a card where Dominic Cruz was supposed to be on the fight against Rob Font. That's what it was. And now they're throwing in Matsumoto for Dominic Cruz. But yeah, it is what it is. If you guys need a place to bet, BetUS, promo code Iceman. Let's make that money. Out.